I cannot believe that the king was under our eyes this entire time. Hello humans, my name is ComfyUI Overload, and boy oh boy, let me tell you something. So a few days ago I was just browsing the web and I see this post online claiming that the one text-to-video AI model was actually the best text-to-image model currently available. And I first set up everything to get the best results possible. It's gonna be amazing. So that being said, sit back, relax, and let's go. And to install one, you have two ways. The first is of course by using my working installer that is available for my Patreon supporters. Just download the installer onto your computer, then double click it. It will then ask you what amount of GPU VRAM you have. So if you have less than 12 gigabytes, choose option number 1. Between 12 and 16, choose option number 2. And more than 16, choose option number 3. Since I have a 4090, I'm going to choose option number 3, then press enter. It will then ask you if you want to download the original one model, and I highly recommend to say yes, and I will show you why, and then press enter, and it will download and install ComfyUI and all the models that you need to run the 1.2.1 model, and it will then launch ComfyUI automatically, ready to be used. You don't need to do anything. And for this video, I prepared a special one image generation workflow that you can find on my Patreon. So just download the workflow, then drag and drop it inside ComfyUI, and then there you go. And now we can finally have some fun. Okay, so before I begin trying to explain my workflow and all the things that you can do with it, let's first try to understand, first of all, what the 1.2.1 model actually is, and how suddenly we just found out that it can generate images better than any other model on the market right now. So essentially in the beginning, the 1.2.1 model is supposed to be a text-to-video model as well as an image-to-video model. And I have already made an entire video on this model a few months ago, where you can basically just input a simple text prompt, and if you click generate, and after a few minutes, you get this absolutely amazing video generated completely from scratch, which is really just amazing. And what's really cool is that the model is also capable of doing image to video. So just upload your image, write your prompt, and then click run, which in the end will just give you your moving image, exactly as expected. So yeah, this model is really cool. So how exactly did we go from generating videos to simply generating images? Well, since a video is basically just a bunch of images put together, and if a model is already able to generate a bunch of images, that means that the model is capable of generating a single image. And people basically found out that if you use the correct parameters, the correct settings, you can generate some absolutely amazing looking images. And all of that extremely quickly as well, making this one model an absolute beast of a model, able to not only generate videos, but also amazing looking images. I mean, look at this, this is really good. There are currently no base models that are able to generate something like this from scratch. And what's really cool about this model is its amazing ability to follow the prompt very closely and to produce amazing and super varied looking images. I mean, look at that, for example. This is really cool. And usually the more details you input, the more detailed your image will be. And this model is absolutely amazing when it comes to recreating prompts from your imagination, because it follows the prompt so well. Usually, if you can imagine something with the right prompt, this model can generate it very easily. So yeah, I mean, this model is really just incredible. Okay, so before I show you more of what this model can do, let's actually go through the entire workflow, or should I say workflows, to show you how everything works, how to use it, when to use it, to get the best results possible. Okay, so first let's begin with the first one, which is the text to image. So if for those of you who have never used my workflows before, you have here a little button that allows you to enable or disable the workflow, and all the things that you need to change will always be on the left hand side. So first here, you're gonna choose your model, depending on the version that was downloaded. And here actually, for those of you who might have noticed, but for all of those generations, we're not actually using the base 1.2.1 model. We are actually using a better, improved version called Fusion X, which is basically the base 1.2.1 model, but with a bunch of LORAs and improvements merged into the base model. So basically, the Fusion X model is faster than the 1.2.1 model because you only need 8 to 10 steps to generate an image, and it also looks a little bit better than the base 2.1 model. Now you can can still use the normal model if you chose to download it during the installation. However, if you do, and you select it right here, do not forget to activate one or both LORAs that are described right here. I even made a little note to kind of explain to you. So basically, if you use like the base 1.2.1 text-to-video model, you can use the LightX2V LORA to get a better speed and generate images with only 10 steps. Or you can use the Fusion X LORA that allows you to get better speed to generate images with 10 steps, as well as a completely different style from the base 1.2.1 model. So for example, if I choose the 1.2.1 base model and I enable the special LightX2V LORA that allows me to generate images in the same quality as the base model, but with only 10 steps, if now I click run, it gives us something like this, a nice beautiful selfie photo of a random woman. And if now I enable the Fusion X LORA instead with the same parameters, and it gives us something like this. This time a little bit more of a attractive woman. And this is usually the big difference between the normal Light 2X LORA and the Fusion X LORA. Usually Fusion X will tend to produce a more, I would say, more beautiful looking people with a more standardized look compared to the base model. However, the base model will also be a little bit more true to life, a little bit more original, whereas Fusion X will usually produce people and images in a more beautiful style. Now also the reason why we actually use the normal Fusion X model instead of the base model with the Fusion X LORA is because first it is just faster to use a base model without loading a new LORA, because this just adds more time to the generation, and also it allows you to actually re-add the LightX2V LORA with maybe like a little bit less strength to get a completely different looking image. And usually the big difference is a much bigger contrast in the final image. And there you go, just like that. And if you want to increase the effect even higher, you can of course just increase that strength to something like 0.8 or even higher if you want. And you're gonna go from an image like this to something like this. Now once again, it all depends on the prompt that you've chosen. Sometimes the difference is much higher depending on the style, so it's kinda up to you to play a little bit with the parameters and see which one do you prefer. But usually to get a faster generation, I just use the normal Fusion X model right here without any LORAs so that I can get the best speed possible. And speaking of speed, here's a very cool addition right here called the Mac Cache that basically allows you to make the final generation much faster, sometimes up to 2 times faster, with a very minimal loss in quality. And you can either enable or disable this option right here. So like for example, if I generate an image with Mac Cache disabled, which gives us something like this, which looks good, very good, but this was generated in 9 seconds. And if now I enable Mac Cache and I click run again, this time we get something like this. So a very small loss in quality, like this is the before. So as you can see, there is like a small quality difference, but almost imperceptible. But now this image was generated in only 6 seconds. So around 50% faster. So it's really up to you if you want to use this option or not. I think depending on your GPU, this might actually have more impact than without. I think it probably works better if you have a low VRAM GPU, but it's really up to you to kind of test it and to let me know how it works for you. But if you don't want to use it and you just want the best resolution and the best quality image possible, then you can simply disable this and generate your image normally. So then here another option is to add some film grain onto the image. Now you might not really see this on YouTube, but if you actually zoom in, you can see a very realistic kinda noise, like some film grain on the image that kind of makes the image a little bit more realistic. But if you don't want that, you can simply just disable this right here and then generate the image normally. So like this is the before with the film grain and this is the after. This is without film grain. Now for me, I do like the film grain. It actually makes the image a little bit more realistic, almost as if this was taken with a real camera. But depending on the types of images that you want to generate, like, I don't know, like anime or stuff like that, or images that are not supposed to be taken by a camera, in that case, you might want to disable the fast film grain option. So once again, it's kind of up to you. And then finally, right here, you have the resolution. Now you can choose pretty much any resolution that you want, but usually Usually resolutions that work very well are usually resolutions that are minimum 1024 by 1024 resolution or 720p, so 1280 by 720, or the full HD resolution 1920 by 1088. And of course, the higher the resolution, the higher the quality. And you can of course generate normal portrait images with portrait resolutions. So once again, it's really kinda up to you and what kind of images you want to generate. This model can pretty much do everything that you want. Okay, so next, now that we've done the normal text-to-image workflow, let's talk about the next workflow, which is the simple image-to-image workflow, which works pretty much the exact same way. You have the same exact parameters, except right here, when you have the ability here to either resize the image to a different resolution than the base image you input right here, or if you disable this, it will use the normal image resolution to create something different. So like for example, if I have this image of this woman and I want to transform it into a astronaut, for example, well, I'm simply gonna input my prompt, make sure that I use the correct denoise value. So the more different my base image will be from the image that I want to generate, the higher the denoise value should be. So then you're gonna choose the correct denoise value. So in my case, if I try something like 0.8 and I click run, which gives us something like this, which is maybe a little too high. Once again, the normal image to image is not really supposed to translate and transform an image like that into something like this. We need to use another workflow for that. If you want to preserve more of the original image parameters, you might actually want to decrease the denoise value to something like 0.75, for example. And if you click run, you will get something like this, which is kind of like an in-between our base image and the image that we want to generate. So this workflow is more about transforming an already existing image into something a little bit more similar. But don't worry if you actually want to transform this image into something completely different while respecting the body position. Well, for this, you might want to use the image-to-image based ControlNet workflow. That's right, I think that there is a lot of people who forgot that we actually got a special ControlNet video model called Vase. I made a video on this model a few months ago, and it is just an amazing model. However, in our case right here, in the case of generating new images from a base one using ControlNet, well, Vase can do that as well. So like once again, same parameters. Here you have the choice of multiple ControlNet, and you can either choose to use all of them at the same time or only one. So basically here you have open pose, here you have depth ControlNet, and here you have canny ControlNet. And like for example, if I just decide to use like the normal depth ControlNet with once again our base image and the same prompt and same parameters, if now I click run, which in the end gives us something like this. As you can see, it has created like this depth map right here, and it has then used the special Vase model to generate this beautiful image. And as you can see, we are now in the same exact position as the woman from the base photo, but this time in a completely different setting. So basically you have two completely different workflows that you can use for completely different results. The normal image to image that takes basically all the colors and all the visual cues from the base image to create a new one, but in a very similar style. And then you have the special Vase ControlNet workflow that allows you to use ControlNet to generate a brand new image, but keeping the exact same position and same exact elements from the base image right here. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty cool. Okay, so then finally, the last workflow is simply a big image upscaler that you can use to make your images even better looking. So like for example, if I take this image, I just click copy and I paste it right here, and I use the same exact prompt that I used to create this image. And if I then click run, which in the end gives us something like this, similar to the original image, but this time with a lot more details. Like this is the before and this is the after. So yeah, a huge difference in quality. So if you want your images to look even better, definitely use this image upscaler workflow right here. But if you don't like the way it looks, because it always changes the image, you can either just decrease the denoise value right here, or you can simply use the normal simple upscaler right here, just input your image, choose an upscale model, defactor, and now if you click run, in only a few seconds, it will now upscale your image to a much higher resolution without changing the base image. And if you want, for example, to add some noise on an image you already have, you can just input your image right here, then select the grain intensity and saturation mix, and now if you click run, in only a few seconds, you should now have an image with some film grain applied. Simple as that. And I mean, yeah, there you go. This is a pretty simple workflow that is very easy to use, very straightforward. Basically just input a prompt that is very, very detailed. You can use something like ChatGPT to help you create a more detailed prompt, then input the resolution, use Mac cache or not, and now if you click run, and a few seconds later, bada bing bada boom, here's your final image. I mean, look at the details. You even see like the small hair on the insect. I mean, this model is really, really good. I gotta tell you. And I mean, yeah, this model is really just amazing. Like the quality of the generation, the details, the variety. This is something that I haven't seen in a long time from a base model. And the difference becomes extremely clear once you start comparing with the previous base models. So like for example, if you compare it with Flux, which by the way is still one of the best models ever, with the same exact prompt, you start to see the difference. Like for example, this is Flux and this is one. Now, although Flux is still doing really, really good when it comes to photos, although you can't really see this on YouTube, you can definitely see like a difference in skin texture and overall realism, where one is just way more realistic. But the real difference becomes really visible once you start generating images in a completely different style. Like for example, this is of course one. I mean, look at the detail in this image, just insane. They look so good. And now if you look at Flux, you get something like this, which is yeah, it's really not as good. Like this is one and this is Flux. There is clearly a huge difference. And with the one model, you really get everything. You get the style, you get the details, you get the precision of the prompt. I mean, just incredible. It's like an all-in-one model that you can run locally. And yeah, I mean, once again, you don't even need to have any LORAs to generate amazing images in a completely different style. Like for example, once again, this is one and this is Flux. Yeah, definitely not the same level of quality. And I mean, yeah, all of these images look really, really good, even without a single LORA. And speaking of LORA, let's actually talk about the things that a lot of people are waiting for. This was running on your local computer. So if you don't have an account already, you can click the link in the description down below and create a new account. Then you're gonna click on pods. Here you're gonna choose a GPU with at least 24GB of VRAM, like a 1490 for example. Then here you're gonna click change template and look for theaitrepreneur, ComfyUI. Then click edit template. Here for the container disk, you're gonna change 10 to 80. Then click set overrides. Then you're gonna scroll down and click deploy on demand. Then you're gonna click buy pods and wait until everything is ready. Then you're gonna click connect, click on this link right here, and once you are inside the Jupyter Lab, you're gonna go inside the ComfyUI folder, and then here, if you are one of my Patreon supporters, the installation will be very, very easy for you, because I prepared an easy one-click installer that you could just download, then drag and drop it right here, then you're gonna click on the terminal icon, and then here you're gonna copy and paste these two lines of code that you will find in the Patreon post, and then press enter, and then it will automatically download all the custom nodes and models that you need to run the one model. Simple as that. You don't need to do anything. So once everything is installed, you're gonna go back to the pod, click connect, then click right here. Next, you're gonna click on the manager button and update everything. If you want to follow what's happening, you can come back to the workspace, into logs, then click on the terminal icon, and then copy and paste this command that will allow you to follow exactly what is happening at all times. Then once the update is done, you're gonna restart, then you're gonna click refresh by pressing F5, and then all you have to do is drag and drop the workflow inside ComfyUI, and then there you go. It is ready to be used exactly as if this was running on your local computer. Simple as that. Oh, and also don't forget that I provide priority support for my Patreon supporters, so if you have any question whatsoever, do not hesitate to send me a DM and I will try to answer your question as soon as possible. And there you go. This has been one text to image. An absolutely amazing model that has been under our noses the entire time, but has now become the king of image AI generation. I personally had a lot of fun trying this model out, and I'm sure that you will as well. So definitely try this out yourself and have some fun. And there we have it, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you also so much to my Patreon supporters for supporting my videos. You guys are absolutely awesome. You people are the reason why I'm able to make these videos, so thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.